Mic test. Mic test. Testing the mic. Slithering salamanders sling sibilants while they're popping their peas. Alright, I think it's working. Sounds good. Transition on in. Transition on in. How's that looking? Oh yeah. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. So let's turn off this playback here. Howdy folks, and welcome back to another hobby hangout here in the Bullshit Corner 2.0. I'm your boy Cameron here at Country Fried Minis. We're going to be working a little bit on these Urbanmechs again today. Going to try and get them done. Last night ended up getting stupidly tired. And went right to bed after the stream. I ended up sleeping 10 hours before class this morning, which was awesome. I just threw on some knock-around clothes and zipped up my hoodie, went to class, got through the day. Feeling pretty good today. Finally got some sleep. So, for that, I think we're going to hop back in and get these little lads done. Howdy Grim, welcome. We're doing a little work on these here lads. So, I was a little worried that the Agrax Earthshade step was going to take some time to dry, and I didn't want to have dead air waiting on paint to dry and or working on some other models in the meantime. So over the course of the last half hour or so, I have cleaned up the base coats and I've put on a coat of the Agrax all over and let it dry so we can begin in earnest this evening. Unfortunately, my tufts have not arrived as of today. They should be here tomorrow. They were in Southern California according to USPS today, so I'm hoping between today and tomorrow morning I can put the final touches on this commission and get it in the post Saturday morning. You definitely sound more energetic tonight. Yes, another Nate. I do feel it. I feel quite refreshed. We're probably going to aim for, I don't know, I'm kind of liking the idea of the 2.5 hour stream. You know, going for 4 or 5 hours is pretty taxing, but we've got the wet palette, we've got these boys, this is hydrated up, and we can jump into getting a little work in on them. I've got the camera here, so we're going to film this as well, step by step, and get a feature featuring the Urbanmechs on the channel sometime soon, sometime in the near future, in the next several weeks. I'm thinking it's going to be a subtext about how to match another player's paint scheme. It'll cover like asking the right questions and getting the right paints and or finding the right approximations. And for that, we're going to start with an approximation. Let me turn on this film-a-jig here. And then we'll do that and show this to the camera. We're going to start with a little bit of Warboss green. And in this case, I'm not sure if this Warboss green is about the right color that the client has used for the cockpits, but it's close enough. And we'll touch on that in the video, talking about how to really match what your clients are asking for. It's funny, I have a bit of a background in tattoo art, and it's kind of the same there, wherein like you get your client to give you as much detail as possible. You know, you got to get all the specifics so you can create art that renders the client's vision as closely as is possible. Anyhow, I digress. Hey, Battlebound, welcome. We're doing a little work on this here Urbanmech lance today. It's let's see, what is it? It's a UMR60? No, there's the 60. There's the 60L. What's the MRM30 is the... It's the R68. And then I just learned about this R27 variant while doing this paint up. Preparing today, actually. I looked at it, I was like, wait a second, that's 18 barrels. R70 is fave, rotary AC5. Yeah, I am quite partial to the rotary autocannon as well. You know, I love the Urbanmech aesthetically. I really think it's fun. I think it serves, like, thematically and lore-wise, it serves a role, but it is a piece of garbage. And in my humble opinion, has no place on the battlefield if you're playing a regular game of battletech. That said, picking up this here set for this project, and in picking this up and owning the Solaris 7 map set, I think it would be an utter blast to play some Solaris matches with just Urbanmechs. I think that's where they'd really shine and be a lot of fun. Okay, this paintbrush is rock hard. Might have to clean it up later. Let's see. We'll switch to this here. What is this? A 3.0 liner. And again, I'm going to try to maintain the frame, the shot for both this camera here and my camera down here. All right. This one is also rock hard. Oh, I didn't clean my brushes properly. Okay. That should recover well enough to use it. All right, so we're using this 3.0 liner, and we're gonna go down the line and put a little green in their cockpits, just real carefully. You know, make sure when you're doing this, to anchor your model in several points, and you know, just be gentle and coax that paint into the corners. It's definitely easier on the bigger windows, but I think these Urbanmechs are a good example of ones to work on. In the environment of a city, the Urbanmech is not as bad as everyone seems to think. Yeah, I mean, they got jump jets. Can't go far, but, you know, it kind of makes sense. After all, they're called the Urbanmech. If you have buildings which will provide ample total cover, and can, you know, position in such a way to get surprise shots at people as they come around corners and whatnot. So yeah, I could see it actually working in the role it's intended for. I wonder if there's any good scenarios out there that make use of the Urbanmech in the proper fashion. Like, maybe you've got an attacking force going through a city, and some kind of planetary militia has to slow them down for a certain number of turns with just their Urbanmechs. Okay, I keep making little mistakes here and there. And that's why I'm swapping to another brush and very swiftly licking the paint off the tip. So I will have a moistened and paint removed brush very quickly. I am not an advocate for eating your paint. But, you know, something about licking your brush, it works. It satisfies some subconscious need while creating some compulsion, while also removing the paint, properly moistening your brush, and reshaping the tip instantly. Again, I'm not telling you to lick your brushes, but I am saying if you are a brush licker, you know. There's a reason the paints are non-toxic. Alright. So, plan is to fill in these here windows, and then we're going to start building back up the base color after that ink wash, which darkened everything down quite a bit. And then we'll do a little highlighting, do some base treatments, and a little bit of freehand stuff, and well, hell, then these guys will be golden. So when it comes around a corner and hits you, I'm telling you, Lol, the Urbanmech has the absolute best armor there is in battletech. People think it's stupid. So when it comes around the corner and hits you with an AC-10, you'll look at it and think, this is a piece of junk. Ah, therein lies the rub. The opponent will usually have a bigger fish to fry. Yes. Not a lot of mechs in the setting with setup like the UMK9. Police Irby. Deputy Dog, yeah. I was just looking at that over on Sarna. Let's see. Complete with a light bar. The K9 is an urban mech refitted for use by a planetary police department. The standard variant's AC-10 is swapped for a UAC-5, and the left arm small laser is updated to a large laser, with 2 small lasers mounted in the center torso. While its ground speed remains unchanged, the K9's heavier weapons loadout is made possible through the use of an endo-steel chassis and mounting 10 double heat sinks. I mean, it sounds fun. It's just super fun. Oops, I've been recording this the whole time. I haven't read any of the books, but I did look at the back summaries of some in the early 2000s in the used bookstore. I remember one was about exactly there, planetary militia fending off raiders, and they had decommissioned urbans. Yeah, it makes sense. No, I mean, small, presumably easy to pilot, big gun, simple technology for the most part, and cheap. Just absurdly dirt cheap. Let's see. Does Sarna list the C-bill cost of a UMR-60? Yeah. 1.471 mil C-bills. Dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. It wouldn't take much for a determined group of planetary defenders and or militiamen to stack together some C-bills and get them an urban mech. And then, like, imagine more so just like an urban mech helping to defend versus, you know, some non-mech attackers. Just some like light vehicles, some you know, like, what's a good example? A couple Striker scout tanks or something? Or maybe even just like, I don't know, few platoons of dudes. I can see where an urban mech has its place and would absolutely shine. It's just, you know, it's hard to picture them working in pickup games. And I think that's part of the problem of thinking they're bad. right there comes from that. The whole, like, so much of my personal battletech experience derives from the monthly meetup at the game store. You know, it's rare to even get scenarios put together. We tend to just do pickup games. We set a BV limit, we set an era, and people come in and have a good time. But there's not much room for fun stuff like, you know, can the Planetary Defense Force hold off that rampaging lance of pirates for 7 turns while backup arrives, or something like that. I'd like to play more stuff like that. In larger military conflicts, just strap some Air Force to them and hope for the best. Ooh, yes. The UM-AIV. I have learned to respect Air Force. They're, you know, they're not the most fun thing to deal with. Another Nate, Scorpions, a hellish strike squad, suitable targets for city cop mechs. Scorpions like the mech? I'm a fan myself. They're just silly. In fact, I'm pretty sure Jule Marshigama pilots a Scorpion. No, I didn't want camo specs. Marshigama's Legionnaires. See if I can get the Sarna page up. I'm really wanting to do that unit. Where's it at? Jule Marshigama. It doesn't have it listed here. I have the picture somewhere of the unit. I bet it's on my desktop, actually. Yeah, there it is. Pardon me. Keep distracting myself with fun stuff. Yeah. Marshigama herself pilots a Scorpion. So the lance I'm thinking of doing for the Marshigama's Legionnaires is Jule Marshigama in her Scorpion. And then it was Ty Ephim in a Goliath. Michael Sumeron in a Battlemaster. And then I was thinking of getting one of the other gals in the light mechs. There's a Wasp, a Stinger, and a Locust. I'm thinking Linda Faganoff in the Stinger. I think it'd be a nice addition to that unit. Oh, Scorpion Tank. Another name. Yeah, Scorpion Tank would be fun. I like throwing Irby against my players now and then and pick different variants. Oh, it's a nice change of pace. I feel like an Urbanmech doesn't work, but when it does, it's really funny. Grim says hovercraft versus mechs. Now, I wonder if the right hovercraft versus an Urbanmech would be more of a fair fight than one would expect, because they've got the speed there, they got that mobility. I suppose it depends on the quality of the pilot you put in the well, either of them. Okay. Just real carefully putting this here Goblin green, or Warboss green now, in these cockpit windows. And I think from there, what we're going to do is to hit them with a touch of Warp Lightning contrast paint, which I think is pretty close to the orc flesh. I actually have a speed paint color. Excuse me. That is, yeah, there it is. I do have orc skin, and I think that might work to put a little shade on them. But the idea is to do my usual commission route in on the cockpit glass, which is I start with the mid-tone, and then I'll put on a dark wash of some sort. Then you go back and put the mid-tone back on and put the lighter bit in the bottom right corner. Looks great. Looks very serviceable. All right, that's 3 out of 4. Let's crunch on down. I keep getting this out of the shot. I apologize, y'all. It's well, I tell you, it is hard to keep your paintings in frame sometimes. And working on camera will definitely expose to you just how much you move your models around while you're painting. Like, I didn't realize over the course of painting for like 5-10 minutes how I'm liable to drift like a full 1.5 feet across the work surface. Okay, I didn't make these windows big enough on some of them. All right, little by little, get these herbies together. It's gonna be a ton of fun, especially once we start doing the weather and stuff. I'm gonna do my best to get them done today during this stream, but if not, then they're going to go back on the work desk first thing in the morning. And in that case, y'all will just have to catch the final results on the Urbanmech video. Probably coming out, oh, I don't know, second week of October, something like that. I got a fun piece of content coming out featuring Octavia Grimsdaughter from Infinity the Game. I'm going to aim to get that out next weekend. And then, keep rolling with stuff. Hey, I found another Nate. Well, welcome, Nathan. That does make 2 Nates in the group. We are, getting a little work on these here Urbanmech, these lads. These little chunky boys. Let's put some green on these lasers. All right. And with this, we can go back to recovering some of these base tones from the ink wash. So, for that, I think we'll start with the Xandri dust. We'll get back to that. Another Nate says, Nathans are generally pretty chill. I haven't been friends with a Nathan personally, but my brother's best friend growing up was a Nathan, and he was a pretty chill dude. So, can confirm, Nathans are pretty chill dudes. It's canon now. All right, so Continuamos We're going to show this to the camera and get out a little more Xandri dust. And we're going to start to recover base tone. Not all of it. We want to leave some of it dark, generally towards the bottom of the mechs. So we're going to get out our Xandri dust and we're going to thin it down proper with a fat drop of water. What's that? That's about a 2-to-1, 2 drops of paint to a drop of water mixture there. That's a rough estimate, of course. Xandri, yeah. I actually, I have never used it for anything other than earth colors, just like ground color proper. And getting to use it on this here project has been really neat. Looks good. Would recommend. It's a great mech color for like a deserty type. Excuse me. I just tried to turn my head and cough into not in my microphone because I'm so used to working with the boom mic over on the desk. So apologize. I just coughed in y'all's ears. Yeah. So going to put a little Xandri dust back on kind of most of the panels, the upper facing ones generally. We want to leave a little bit of grime, a little bit of deep shadow on some of them. Of course, we don't want to kill ourselves with this step here. You know, it's all about striking a balance in commission work. It's getting results that are passable, that look good on the table, and don't break your time budget. It's very easy to end up working too long on individual models for little tiny details that you're just being a perfectionist over that would never get noticed. And, well, if you're working for a flat rate, then, you know, that the time starts to really add up. And I guess the real question is, if you're doing commission work, would you would you be comfortable working for $3 an hour? I know that I wouldn't. But I have had projects in the past where I've come pretty damn close. Had commissions go out that I ended up working for about $5 an hour. Was really proud of the work. But my wallet did not appreciate the time investment. So, is that scummy? Is that a little scummy to talk about commission work? I don't think so. I think it's important. I think it's a realistic aspiration for certain mini painters out there. And it's really hard to set a good price that gives both like a good enticing deal to your customers while also being gentle on your artist's soul. Because after all, I don't care what anybody says. Painting miniatures is art. Like, sure, you need to know miniature painting techniques that are specific to mini art. But you got to understand like a bit of color theory, a bit of you know, foundational knowledge of how light plays on surfaces. I realize I've got this. Let's see if I can't get this. No, you got to discuss that. I'm just so old at this point that I go, I will not even think about doing this for someone else unless they give me blank. My reasoning is I got plenty of my own minis to paint for the show. It's not like I'm hurting for stuff to do. I feel that. And, you know, that's part of the reason why occasionally I'll double dip on these commission works and turn it into content. If not a full-length video, I'll definitely be painting most commissions on stream, which is content in and of itself. But all that said, these Urbanmechs are kind of an outlier. It's a fun project. Oops, I just filled that dark spot. Yeah, this is, you know, the joy of painting some Urbanmechs has its own value. So they're getting a little extra care. Well, you know, I say they're getting a little extra care, but they're also on a pretty hard deadline. And need to get done by the weekend. I agree, my aunt is a professional painter. She got really hosed on a children's picture book. She thought she was getting paid $200 per page, but the customer only paid $200 total. Yeah, it can happen. I tell folks, one color, $10, two colors, $15, three colors, $20, basing plus 5 additionally. So some tricolor mechs are $25 each. You know, that's not too far off what I've been charging lately. I find that the best way to work on mechs is like 3 or 4 of them, 5 of them at a time. If I'm getting to utilize rank painting techniques, then they generally, what's the way to put it? Each model you add to your paint queue that are all the same color, each one takes less overall time. So even though each model is adding time to the project, it's like 4 mechs of the same color will take me less time than 2 mechs in different color palettes. That said, and this is for anybody who's interested in picking up a commission from me over on Fiverr, especially if you're finding this via the algorithm. That said, the prices I'm putting on my commission work are unsustainable. So we're going to keep these low prices low through the holiday season. Allow for people who want to pick up gifts for their loved ones. Take advantage of the low rates we have set. But in the new year, I'm afraid we're going to have to raise prices. The demand is high enough to interrupt a lot of YouTube stuff, so I've got to charge more for my rates. So yeah, if you want some country fried minis, painted minis, you want to take advantage of those prices, check it through the new year. I'm also willing to give discounts to channel members. If you want to support the channel and what we do here on the channel, check out and consider becoming a channel member. For as little as $1 a month, you can have access to, you get a badge next to your name. You get biscuit emojis that you can pop in the chat here on YouTube. You get a permanent discount to the Threadless store, as well as consideration in joining up in future events. So why don't you join up? If you got the scratch to spare, you want to support the channel, become one of our channel biscuits. Join on up. I'm happy with that. I think that's what it's really about. Whether or not you're happy with the amount of money you're trading your time for. Yeah. Go hire him. You got skills. Get them while you can at that price. Yeah. I got some buddies too who are just like, you really need to charge more. And I think they're right. I think right now, I'm charging 25 buckaroonies. Will get you a mech, a single mech, printed, painted, and shipped. I am basically robbing myself at that price. The real bread and butter is the full lance, which is as low as 75 bucks for a full lance of mechs. Printed, painted, shipped to your door. Yeah, it's I'm going to keep those prices through the end of 2023. Of course, I reserve the right to make your mechs into a video. And I also provide the options for you to tell me to turn it into a video for an additional $75 surcharge. So, for 150 buckaroonies, that's USD by the way, for 150 buckaroonies, I'll make your full custom set, your full lance custom, and make a video about it. So check it out. Link in the description. I'd love to have your project here on the desk, regardless of price. Regardless of model, really. Anyhow, not to keep pushing my stuff, but yeah. Grim says, can't wait to see them in person. They're looking hot so far. Yeah, I think they're, unfortunately this camera doesn't really do them justice, but gonna try to match the reference pictures as best I can. Fingers crossed that those Geek Gaming Scenics Tufts arrive tomorrow. They got delayed in Southern California, but I have everything else, all the other colors. Let's see, where's mine? Yeah, here we go. I got the Sterling Mud. We'll be doing the bases with Sterling Mud and Scrag Brown. We're gonna do, I'm thinking some kind of orangey tone mixed into this for some mild edge highlights. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of edge highlights. They're just going to get a little bit towards the upper facing surfaces. But yeah, they're going to be a ton of fun. And the beauty of painting these catalyst sets here is, uh-oh. Am I dropping frames, y'all? Looked like I dropped some frames. Is it working? Let me pull it up over there on the Ethernet computer. 1 second. Video URL. Open a new window and drop it over here. Paste it down. Okay. I think it's just my old laptop is getting it's on its last legs, maybe. Yeah, in fact, it's kind of behind. It's not even a live broadcast here. You know, we had those few Diablo playthrough streams with TechnoRTN, and Comcast dropped me a couple times on that. It was really unfortunate, and it's had me paranoid ever since that any stream just could go under due to my service being throttled. It's always awesome. Okay. Anyhow, thank y'all for stopping by today. You may have dropped for half a second though. Yeah, thank you, Nate. It's the eternal struggle. Plus, this computer is streaming on the Wi-Fi, so any problems that would affect the hardline internet would be even worse on this one. But I digress. We're making some headway here on this Xandri dust. We're basically we got a real thin mixture of it, and we're going back on and picking out the base color with our little 3.0 round brush. And it's kind of it's a semi-transparent layer because it's so thin down. So it's going to show a hint of that color underneath through it. And then we're also avoiding the crevices. And we'll even go so far as to leave a few panels here and there just not hit them again. And that way we'll create some shading and some visual interest. And they'll look good enough. I never claimed to be some high-end painter. I know I have it in me if I wanted to invest 60, 70 hours in a model. But who wants to, really, who wants to do that? Can you imagine? Like, really? Would you rather have one cool display model piece in the case at your local friendly gaming store that you put 80 hours in, maybe even won a small competition for it? Or would you rather have 10 exquisitely painted battle mechs in your collection, ready to go, ready to throw the dice down? I know my decision. I got a buddy of mine who basically paints his models exclusively with contrast paint, dry brush, little bit of lens jeweling. They're done. They're good enough. They're on the table. So he reasoned to me, would you rather have like really finely painted models, or would you rather have done models? And that always really stuck with me. And so after taking that approach, I have a pretty good collection of models that are ready to hit the tabletop. Plus, there's, hitting things with an oil wash and some sponge chipping is kind of a hack. It's so such a good effect for so little investment. Anyhow, making our way back around. We got the front done on this model. We got the leg done. Just at this point, single coat. We're breaking that rule of the 2 thin coats, but that's because we want an imperfect coat here. We want to see some of that darkened down layer shining through, or showing through. Dark layers don't shine. Always pays to remember that arm's length quality, right? Like, most of the time you're going to be viewing these models from an arm's length away. So you aim to make them clean and readable at that distance, and they're fine. And even then, they still generally will stand up to scrutiny up close. Unless you're viewing them with a macro lens. And then, like, what are you doing with your life? It doesn't have to be one or the other. Pick a favorite to put all your try into. Say your commander. Let the rest of the squad be properly drab. You know, I have some footage on that very topic that I've been meaning to turn into a video. So I have this favorite sculpt of my Hockeyslom Janissaries, and that piece of content will be called something like "Who Gets the Goods? When to Elevate Your Paint Jobs," and it'll be talking about, you know, why you might want to put an extra 3 or 4 hours into a single model. I think it'd be fun. So yeah, you're bang on there. Another Nate. All right, this is riveting content, I'm sure. We're making slow progress here, but it's some progress nonetheless. That said, I'm 1 Urby in, and there's 3 more to go. Okay. So we got the leg, we got the front, we got the top, we got the arm. Let's do the underside of this arm, I suppose. And we got motorcycles. Y'all hearing that? That motorcycle might be getting pulled over. No, it sounds like that officer is just running the red lights. All right, progress. Hope that's still in the shot. I'm trying. I'm doing my best here, y'all. It's so easy to drift away. Oh, I got to do the back. Do the back here. A little bit there, a little bit here. Something must be happening on the freeway. So I actually live, it's 3 blocks maybe 4 blocks. About 3 or 4 blocks up the street from the one of the I-80 East on-ramps. So you hear a lot of emergency vehicles going for the exit there. And that sounds like what's going on right meow. Okay. Almost there with this one. And you know, the beauty of this process here, and I know I'm all over the place with the stuff I'm talking about, but the beauty of this painting process here is each layer that you get done and get slapped down onto the model will be more work than the next one. So every step of the way becomes a little easier, a little less work. And there we go. We got a nice, clean, Xandri dust colored mech with a little bit of depth to the shadows there, thanks to that Agrex earth shade, and it doesn't have that that just raw wash look. Instead, it's got the deep recesses and then the nice bold color. And then some panels are still kind of dark. Let's put a little more here actually while I'm thinking about it. And yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going for good enough is good enough here. But yeah, I think she's looking good. We can move on to the next one. A loud truck drove by while you're having a motorcycle. I heard nothing. Ah, yes. Okay. So I think I'm going to take this moment here to show. First, I'm going to take a moment to film a shot for the video. That's what I'm actually going to do here. And then I'll do the thing I was about to say. So we're going to get this boy back out. And we're gonna paint a little bit extra down here underneath, as if we were just wrapping it up. Just a few seconds for the video, and then we're gonna show off that front, what it looks like. There we go. Got the shot. It's something I keep saying in my video editing, that I need to be more cognizant of the shots for the video. But what I'm actually getting at now for the painting process is I want to show off this this rank painting technique I do from time to time to ensure I'm working on the same portions of the models. So let's say we'll take this guy here, the UMR 60L. We'll dip our paint and we're going to paint the toe. Just the toe. There we go. This works really well on Space Marines or things that have panels that are kind of uniform. We're going to set it down. We're going to pick up the next one and we're going to find the toe. And we're going to paint it. We're going to paint the toe. This one gets a little bit on the underside. We're going to paint that toe. We're going to set it down. We go to the next one. We're going to paint that toe. I don't know if this works for everyone, but it is a technique that I find to be quite useful. And it seems like it works. We'll go back to the first one. And we're going to move up the foot to that next armor plate. And we're going to paint it on. I think this technique is especially useful when you're doing like a full set of 10 Space Marines all at the same time, for instance. Works really well. Kind of keeps you moving, adds a little extra energy and interest into what you're doing. Helps to keep you from being bored or zoning out or slowing down. And we'll do some proper rank painting this way. Alright, back to the first. Next panel. Continue almost. Is this still in the frame? Alright. Making headway. So it's got like a whole foot thing. Whole like, I don't know what you call that. The ball of the foot effect kind of happening down here. We'll hit that while we're at it. I think it's the next segment. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the other ones have that too. Okay. Done, I'm done, and I'm on to the next one. So because we have a nice thin mixture here on the wet palette, it's going to increase the longevity of the paint and allow us to pull this off. Yeah, I was right. This one has the whole deal here. It's pretty standard assembly line painting. Yeah, I usually I'll incorporate this technique if they're super similar, and if they have like substantial pose differences or armor plate differences, I'll do like a single color before moving on to the next one. It's a real good way to keep your eye kind of trained in the same spot. Plus, you can go even further and add something like, you toss a drop of fluid retarder in your paint if you have a whole bunch you're working on. I'm going to do a drop, and it'll slow down the drying and make that paint last real long time. So now we've added a drop of that. And that should make this Xandri dust last to the end of our little project here. Of course, it's another drop of fluid, so it's going to thin it down a little more. It pays to be careful with that. But yeah, I think the paint drying out was more of a problem when I worked off of a traditional palette. But adding this Army Painter wet palette to my hobby setup, game changing. I know that wet palettes are generally overhyped and over standardized, but I've been very happy with this one. Mostly because, you know, wet palette good. And the big thing that convinced me that's good, the lid is really nice. It's got a got room for a ton of brushes and tools and whatnot. All right, what's next panel? We'll do the back of the foot now. foot. And then foot. So right in line with my own warning, I've made this paint a little too thin. So we're gonna grab just a little bit. Just a little bit of that there color. Add it in. Thicken it back up. But it should still retain the nice effects from the fluid retarder. Found one at the lobby for like 15 bucks. Since I do all my stuff at home, I don't need those extras that the expensive options come with. Yeah, I think I want to say I paid like 26 bucks for the army painter one. I don't think I could justify spending more than that, really. Like the some of those higher end ones, they're higher end in the name and the packaging, really, because they're just the same thing. It's a plastic tin with a sponge in it that you put parchment paper over top. I mean, really, you could make your own and it'd be just as good. Just like a Tupperware container and a kitchen sponge and a roll of Reynolds parchment paper. Work perfectly fine. It's really all it takes. It's the parchment paper and the sponge. That's all it is. Semi-permeable membrane. Oh, need to do the toe bottom here. All right. That's some feet just about done. Okay. What's next? Redgrass wants like 65 for their basic version. That's insane. Absolute insanity. And I imagine that is the same thing as the GW problem, wherein GW charges more for their products so that they maintain the appearance of a premium product. It's no joke. This is actually the strategy used. Games Workshop products are expensive because they're expensive. And yeah, they want their products to be viewed by the consumers as premium. So they charge premium price, even though some of their products are actually kind of bad. Like, I don't think I'd in a million years use a Citadel brush. No way. They are not on par with the brushes of comparable price. Not even close. I mean, they're fine, you know, but maybe half the price they'd be acceptable. And even then, like, this brush cost like $1.50, considering the cost of the set, and it is doing fine work. Yeah, I never really did understand the pricing logic there. I guess it makes sense from a purely capitalistic bent, but you know, Catalyst is doing it right, I think. What, you're talking like 25 bucks for a lance? pretty sure GW charges twice that for a single model. In fact, I have an example. Here, let me grab it. So it'll be coming up soon. I have been talking with a couple other YouTubers in doing a mini swap painting challenge. Y'all voted on the Discord, and I'm going to be painting this here Warhammer Skink Starseer as part of an exchange for a collaboration project. And this single model shown in actual size right here. So let's see, actual size, you know, about the height of 2 Urbanmechs on top of each other. This was $50, which is insane, absolutely insane for a piece of plastic toy. That said, it's still going to be a ton of fun to paint. I do come from a background of Games Workshop products. So it'll be nice to put one on there, but I don't want the channel to become a Games Workshop place. We might do some Warhammers every now and then, but no. There's other channels if you want to see Space Marines. Really, the options for seeing battletech are kind of limited. I think we're really going to stick with a lot of that. Another Nate says, part of it is that also there weren't many options for miniature hobby tools, supplies for a long time. Yeah. Reason I never got into Warhammer, the minis are expensive. Yeah, absurdly so. Only now as an adult, without much responsibility, I should put that qualifier in there. Like, I don't have any pets or family to support or loved ones out here. It's just me. So I have a little extra money, and even still, GW is expensive. But I've been able to slowly build up a collection of enough to play. That said, I did just buy a second edition Warhammer box set complete off of eBay, and we're gonna paint up some 90s Space Marines and Orcs like the craze has been all over YouTube at some point in the near future. I just built a guard army for 10th, and oh my god, was it expensive. That's fun. I could see playing some guard, but I like stuff like this. This is it's going to be used in my Rogue Trader Marine set. But you know, on the topic of expensive, this blister was embarrassingly expensive, actually. Expensive enough that I'm not going to disclose how much I paid for it. I picked it up from a miniature swap, like mini flea market thing. Yeah, old Warhammer is a vibe indeed, and that to me is the vibe that is Warhammer. Like, I grew up looking at my dad's old magazines, so like I definitely have a bias towards like mid-90s Ultramarines and the orcs that they were facing against. Like, they look awesome. And it was that got me hook, line, and sinker. Although when I started playing Warhammer, I think it was still 3rd edition. It might have been 4th edition. No, it had to still be 3rd edition. Let's see, 4th edition, 40K. See if I got a year. Fourth edition, 40K year. 2004, yeah, okay. So I played in 2001, which was still 3rd edition. My first army was the Tau. I got into Warhammer when that codex dropped. And it was good. Times were good. I painted them black with flames on them, which is a terrible color for the Tau. Now, I have collected another Tau force that is largely still in the packages. And I am intent to paint them the classic vomit brown color. Was it the Tau set? Sept? I don't know anything about them anymore. But in my mind, they will always be that classic vomit brown color. Just, you know, there's too many models. I don't have time to play 40K anymore. Play too much Warhammer. I mean, play too much Battletech, and I play Infinity. And I'm a full-time student, and I'm running a YouTube channel. It's a lot of work. No time for leisure. I can't imagine, like, working a real job at the same time. I'm lucky right now, personally, that, you know, doing well in school keeps you supplied with grants and scholarships and the like. That's been enough to stay afloat and focus on my art. Not to humble brag at y'all, that's not the intention. All right. Herbie's getting color. I think I skipped the knee pad on the kneeling one. I'm gonna go back and do that real quick like. They've done some fun stuff with the geometry here. This Urbanmech knee has a weird extension that comes out, or the whole thing extends out when it kneels, in a way that doesn't really make a lot of sense, so that it can actually take this kneeling position. It's a decision. Some color on that. Don't have to worry too much about the quality of the coverage here, because it's going to be covered over later by some ground color. Glad Battletech people are cool with 3D printing some minis. I want to get into it. Yeah, I think the beauty of Battletech is it's kind of representational, anyways, because like the models are grossly overscaled. The hexes are supposed to be a 30-meter wide area, and the mechs are just like way too big. And then of course you got the paper standees, the cardboard cutouts that come in the starter sets. And then because there's no like unified official model line, despite what some might believe, You know, you got the iron wind metals and you got the catalyst. But you could totally scratch bash your own or 3D print. It's kind of awesome. And honestly, some of the 3D prints I like better. The work by Matt Mason, ooh, chef's kiss, c'est magnifique, so good. He's taken those MechWarrior Online sculpts and like beefed them up to where they work on the tabletop. And you got people like Locust Labs putting like completely original takes on the designs out for really cheap. Yeah. It's really good stuff. It's actually a positive mood towards 3D printing, which is nice. Officially, GW shop won't even allow anything not GW. You can't even run neat unofficial models, and even conversion bits gets weird. Yeah, that is such a yucky feeling, especially coming from GW. So, as an old, long-time 40K player, well over 20 years now, they used to encourage having fun with your hobby. They used to encourage the hobby. Heck, the Orc Codex had an entire section about how to do like fun orc conversions in it, which was awesome. It was the spirit of the time. It was the spirit of the game. Now, it's all buy our new monopose model. And you have to use it, and it has to be on these new bases. Official stuff only. No converting, no creativity allowed. Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. I don't think I'm gonna play 10th edition at all. At all. Which kind of sucks. I'd like to see what they've done with it, but you know, honestly, I got that 2nd edition box set coming sometime in the future. It's coming from the UK, so it's gonna, you know, take ages to get here. But I've also got a 3rd edition rule book up on my shelf, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. It's super gross. I have head swaps on my guard with Anvil Industry bits, and the manager at both locations were super not having. Yeah, like that's. Talk about anti-consumer right there. That's super foul. And like they could have gone a different direction with that attitude. And is it going to hurt their bottom line? No, absolutely not. GW switched. Well, they were always greedy as shit, even when I was younger. They were always expensive. I remember when I first started playing, circa like 01 through 04, that Eldar Wraith Guard were $10 a blister back then in 2001, 2002 or so. And you had to have a minimum of 5 of them. So even then, you were talking $50 for a squad. But like, I don't know, they're just something icky about when a big company gets so successful and goes all late stage capitalism with their products. It's yuck. It don't feel good at all. The beauty of it, though, is if you have the people, if you have the friends, if you have folks who are interested and who'll play it with you, those old rule books still exist. And they can be had and they can be found. And you can play a good edition of Warhammer. I think 3rd edition is a really good one. Honestly, it's still got some of a little bit of the wackiness and the crunchiness from the older editions. But it's arguably the first edition that it became what it is now. Whereas Rogue Trader and Warhammer 2nd Edition were kind of more almost like tabletop RPG-ish. But yeah, you can get the 3rd edition rulebook off of eBay for like, I don't know, like 30-40 bucks. In fact, oh shit, I keep bumping that camera. I'm sorry, y'all. My pile of junk in the corner. Alright, here we go. Get this thing out. This is the book you want. I really recommend it. This is absolutely the one you want. And technically, if you want to play 3rd edition, this is all you need. Because it's got the army lists in here. You know, Space Marines, Dark Eldar, Tyranid, who else? Eldar, I think there's more in here. Chaos Space Marines. Imperial Guard. Imperial Guard used to be like platoons as troop choices. Orcs. I mean, it's all right there. And then you've even got the Inquisitors and Assassins and whatnot. It just, big recommend. Pick this book up for your collection. I mean, the art alone is fantastic. The paint jobs from the era are fantastic. I mean, come on, the Morty and Iron Guard, it's good shit. You generally find these for like 25, 30 bucks on eBay. If you end up getting it from someone in the UK, you're gonna probably pay like 20 bucks for shipping. But it's worth it. And like, look, here's how to make terrain, not buy our new $400 bunker from GW, buy our shit. This book has soul. Not to go on a tangent like that, but like, I highly recommend enjoying some Warhammer and playing some older editions, and most of your models would still be good. Obviously, you can't use Primaris if you're a Space Marine player, but truth be told, Primaris has no place in Warhammer. It's an affront to Space Marine players all around that they even did that. GW's run by Nazim. Has anyone heard anything about the Cloud District from them? No, not at all. Truth be told, I've not been recently. Yeah. It's, I can't really afford to go to the Cloud District myself. I'm a student, after all. And I live on a student income. Okay. Anyhow. Sorry, don't mean to get off on a tangent and not paint. But yeah. Check out some Warhammer. Check out some old Hammer. It's good stuff. Do your soul some good to play some mini games with soul. Very revitalizing. Still had morale, like proper morale in it. It's still, I go, you go, but you didn't have, nonsense like, oh, it's top of turn 1 and your entire army's dead. Good game, so fun. It didn't have silly stratagems. where you're building your list to maximize the use of stratagems to completely own your opponent. No, it was good times. Did have some wacky stuff like, I'm pretty sure 3rd edition Warhammer still had like proper guess range artillery. In that, like, you guess the range. Oh, I guess that your model is 36 inches that way. And then you measure 36 and you're like, oh, it's dead on. How did I know? We had some IG players who were really good at that. And they would just utterly demolish you with their Earthshaker cannons. It was good. I played Tau, I played a little bit of Eldar, and I played Space Marines. It's where I learned to love the tactical squad proper. Epic 40K coming back is neat, though. I haven't looked into it at all. And I think it's kind of funny, honestly, that 40K, Epic 40K is coming back, and Titanicus is like, we have battletech at home. I know that GW had their share of the 6mm a long time ago, but I think that it's kind of humorous that they're trying to get a hold of that 6mm wargaming that's kind of blowing up with battletech. Definitely feels like they're trying to get some of their people back that they lost to battletech. Ooh, we're making progress here. Slow, but progress nonetheless. Where are we at? Hour and a half. Not bad at all. Slow. I mean, I'm going off on tangents here and there, but the conversations that y'all bring to the table inspire passion in me. I can't help it. Okay. All right. So I think with this little bit here, we should be done with the right leg. There might be some panels on the inside. Yeah. We'll do that hip joint and then this little bit here. I hope that's in shot. I think I already got it on that one. Sure did. So we'll do this one now. All right. That's legs. That's 3 legs done. Let's do a butt plate. I think it's funny. It looks like a little skull on his butt. Alright, there's one. Well, I said that and screwed it up. Let's see if we can't wick out that little mistake. Right there. I hope these shots have been in focus for y'all this evening. It's kind of hard to tell on this little laptop screen. We all make mistakes in the heat of passion, Jimbo. He's coming right for us. Yes. Yes, indeed. All right. The Xandri dust is still nice and thin and flowing nice. Consistency holding about the same. That fluid retarder really makes a difference. Definitely one of those products that you wouldn't think about owning, but is really good to have in your arsenal. Now this one I might have missed. Looks like I missed it with the Agrath Earth Shade a bit. That's fine. Get it going. Let's clean out those eyes. They're not actually eyes. They look like eyes. They're not eyes. It's just my pareidolia speaking. Let's clean it back up. Yeah, looking good. All right, what's next? I think we'll trace down these vents. Sounds like the stage advice for Grizzled Prawn veteran. I'll admit I haven't even been looking at my screen, been focused on Cube. Ooh, I am excited to see some updates when you make some progress. It does look quite fun. If any of y'all aren't in the Discord, another Nate has been working on a fabulous little legally distinct beholderkin. Is that quantifying it well enough? But it's also it's a very cuboid in form, and I loves him. It looks like a fun little project. You know, that reminds me, so I tend to watch Peganeko's streams real late at night. She's Australian, so streams at ungodly hours, but she's been doing a thing where she get folks in the Discord to show what they're working on towards the end of the streams and then showing them off. I think we might, if I could figure out how to get that set up on this little screen over here, I might do that. Though it's tough to navigate. I mean, y'all have seen it in the videos proper, but let me see if I can't aim this thing up here. I'm working off this little tiny screen in the corner, you know, show you it's tiny. It's like a what, 5x7, I think, little screen, the type you'd see on the back of a seat in a car. Trent Hallmark says that means I got to start painting models again. Well, no pressure to do so, but if you did, would love to see them over in the Discord. Whether or not in a live stream, the community is always happy to see what we're working on, because I am a big believer that what we're doing is actually art. Some would argue that it's not. The recent Rising Ape video had Lila Mev in it, who basically made the assertion that this is craft more than art. And I'll have y'all know that I am working with a professor in my Art 600 professional development course to make the assertion that not only is model painting art, but it is valid. Admittedly, I'm making that assertion through the lens of content creation, in that I'm using craft techniques in a hobby space, but creating content that shares that hobbying with the world in an informative and humorous fashion. And that itself is art. Interesting to see where it goes. It's a real neat course. It focuses on like building a portfolio and a artist statement and a website, and preparing you for diving into the professional art world. Which, of course, you know, all my art these days is YouTube, really. I used to do a lot of drawing, painting, tattooing, and now it's making these videos for y'all. You could do a picture-in-picture thing, put a scroll in the corner over your head that displays recent Discord uploads. That's not a bad idea, Another Nate. Trent says, I'd very much agree, but I'm the type of person to just heavily trend towards your XYZ thing is valid. You know, so I don't know if y'all know anything about, you know, art history and what's canon art and whatnot, but that whole idea was really touched on by Marcel Duchamp during the Dada movement. In my opinion, most strongly with his piece of art called, it's either The Fountain or Fountain, and it's a urinal. It's just a urinal, like from the era, like you'd buy at the store, and laid down on its back. It's got like a signature on it, like a piece of graffiti, but it's just a urinal. And Duchamp's word for this was a ready-made, and it was kind of a statement that this piece brought, you know, out of the consumer space and brought into the art space just constituted art. And I think that miniature painting could indeed like get into that same realm of thinking. I mean, would you consider the diorama work by Roman Lapat as anything less than miniature art, or anything less than art? I mean, just like, it's straight up art. Yeah, it's pretty wild. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the semester and seeing how the exploration of that goes. Armut, yeah, exactly. Trent knows. Armut, the little piece of graffiti on the corner of the urinal of the fountain. I'll admit Google knows. Yeah. Well, it's good stuff, and honestly, I don't think it's art. I really don't, but it does open up the whole like dialogue of what constitutes art, and I think that's really cool. I got into a discussion recently about AI art production, And after a long and heated discussion where I started my positions asserting that AI generated art is not art, I came full circle after having the discussion about the Marcel Duchamp's work, that I think AI art is just as valid as any others. Sorry, I'm welcoming someone to the Discord real quick. Saw that notification pop up. Yeah, it's kind of cool to be aware of these things, Trent. That's nod of respect towards you, one artist to another. I'm not a art history major, and honestly, I didn't give a damn about art history, but during my time at City College of San Francisco, I ended up taking 3 semesters of Western art history, and man, it is cool to have a framework and an idea of where art has come, what led to the developments, what constitutes art is really cool. Western Art History 101, 102, 103 covered basically like prehistory all the way up to the beginnings of modern art. And now, capping off my BFA at SFSU, I have to take one last art course, and I'm currently in Art 306. It's contemporary art, but it's got like some kind of extra theme to it. Nathan says it entirely depends on the artist and the goal, like when digital art first started taking off. Yeah, I think you're right there. I had an idea to do I still might do it too, because this course, the professional development course, encourages us to create a piece for the Stillwell Gallery at the university. And I really like the idea of exploring presenting AI art as art and making the assertion that it is art, while flagrantly using full-on unethical AI generation. And that even if you don't consider the AI art to be art in the sense of art, like presenting what is not art and what is stolen as art itself becomes a work of art. So like, it's crazy to live in this modern era where all avenues of artistic creation have been explored, at least in some fashion, over the last 20,000 years, to still be trying to make a definition of what is and what isn't art. I mean, think about the whole that episode of that instance where someone hung the banana, taped the banana to the wall in a gallery, and it was just like accepted as art that belonged there. I think that's awesome. And I think it's like, do we have a responsibility as people to create some meaningful form of art? I don't know. I know I'm a crazy person with a deep desire and need to produce stuff. And that need has turned into content production, content creation here on YouTube. Now, would a Country Fried Minis video work as a gallery production in some video art corridor? No, probably not. But at the same time, if you presented that same thing with confidence and a good artist statement, it could work. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to try and submit the Big Hunchback and the video together as an installation for the gallery this semester. Trent says, yeah, I wish I had more time to take classes like that, but they were outside my major comp sci. Yeah, okay. So I only have a surface level on the academics of it, and that late night wiki perusing. That's, I mean, it's definitely hard to pursue that knowledge on your own time. But, you know, just saying, if you ever find yourself with the opportunity to take like a free class at a city college or community college, I'd recommend taking at least one art history course. It was really cool. Green Army Man says, my point is you didn't make it 99.99% of the time. I will die on this hill. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You're not wrong in the least there. And I think that's why the AI art presented as art is clever, and the act of doing so becomes full circle into art. So I guess what I'm saying is I agree with that stance, like very fully. But I think it could also be reasoned in presenting the stolen art that it becomes art. Another Nate, what's the difference in an AI generated image that was trained on X artist's work and one hand created by someone inspired by that same original art? I think the difference is the touch of the human hand. But, you know, there's... What's to say that, like, I couldn't... what's that? There's that one guy on YouTube who pours molten metal into ant nests. Like, you could totally do that and present that as a sculpture. And what did you do to create it? You melted some metal. Nathan says it's almost performance at that point. Sometimes I think that's becoming its own separate thing. Yeah, you're not wrong there. There's actually one of the girls in my class. She does some cool paintings and sculptures and stuff, but her real forte is the performance art. She had this one piece. It was really cool. She basically brought all the things from her home where she'd sit and do homework. So it's like a little end table and her laptop computer and like this ottoman that she'd sit on. And she set it up in the corner of the gallery and just sat there and did homework as a performance piece. And it was kind of really cool. Yeah, it's neat. And I definitely have an appreciation for it. For all things artistic anymore. It's a shame that an art degree is so cool and so fun and really enriching and full of knowledge and is completely useless. You're not going to get a job with an art degree, really, unless you're teaching or you're working in a museum. It's just like, it's probably not going to happen. You'd be more apt to get like a real job, quote unquote, through something like industrial design or something art adjacent. But really, like, there's cool knowledge to be had in an art degree. Really, like, enriching stuff. But, you know, from a strictly, like, I'm trying to get a job after college, probably not coming from that degree. That said, if you're a proper like gallery style artist, you can play around with some fun techniques and make some crazy connections while you're pursuing it. It's wild. My professor in this class is a curator at a gallery that is actually on my block, which I thought was absolutely wild. So I guess I have no excuse, and I need to go in there and like check out the show they're putting on. But you know, to be fair, I hate people. I hate like being in public. It makes me very nervous. You wouldn't, you probably wouldn't think so. Checking out the streams and the videos and whatnot, but like I have crippling social anxiety, so doing stuff like that is difficult. And now, granted, like when I'm out playing mini games or talking about art or this stuff, it's a little different, so it might not be an issue. Trent, that's one of the reasons I'm glad I fell into comp sci. Thank God that my desired activity is quote unquote valuable to the powers that be. Yeah, no, I actually way back when I graduated high school in 2004, and then I went immediately to college in my local community college, and I was gonna head into computer science and programming, and I couldn't do it. I didn't have the discipline. I graduated young. I was 16 at the time, and I hated math. I still kind of hate math. My brain is not wired for it, and there was a lot of math involved in a comp sci degree, unfortunately. But I very nearly went down that path. So, for that, Trent, I hope you're enjoying it, and I definitely hope that it turns into a lucrative choice for you. I think it very much has the possibility to do just that. It is a good choice in modern society. Another Nate says, I found a pretty effective way to get out of social anxiety. I'm curious. You've piqued my curiosity, good sir. For me, ironically, what helps a lot with the social anxiety, first and foremost, is, you know, participating in things that I'm passionate about, like, you know, battletech meetups and mini gaming and art, like hanging out at the museum. But like, ironically, telling people about my social anxiety is like really soothing to the social anxiety. I joined an S&M club in Denver while I was trucking down there. Okay, yeah, okay. That I mean, honestly, that sounds like a good group of folks to help with that, for sure. Trent says, I do enjoy it. I vibe with it well. I hate that learning comp sci filters so many on the math, because most programming jobs don't actually use math a whole lot. Yeah, it makes sense to me. In reality, it's more conceptual and problem solving and art all in its own kind of thing. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I definitely can like kind of grasp the logic behind programming and can see where it wouldn't actually use the mathematical applications. I guess the flip side is that, like, I could see where having the foundational knowledge up through at least calculus and trigonometry would really help with figuring out how to reason through some of that deep problem solving. Then again, we do live in a modern era where so much of that math is automated. Oh man, some bum out my window is very angry. Nate says YOLO. Yes. Enjoy it. Another Nate, never participated, but just hanging out with random, mostly naked people who are super open and friendly was very freeing. Yeah. Oh, I believe it. Like, a certain amount of, like, infectious confidence is what that sounds like to me. Like, the folks who are so comfortable with themselves that they, like, they help you, so very comfortable with themselves that comfortability comes off them like an aura and helps you out. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right. Despite all the tangents and the bloviating and discussing all manner of things, I think we're making some headway on these little lads. Voyeurism is a big part of that scene. A lot more people just want to watch than want to perform, if you will. That's fair. I was there doing research for a book. Ooh, fun. That sounds awesome. Documenting things is a special kind of cool. I'm not a strong writer, but I see the validity and necessity of that. You know, documenting things, exploring it, talking about it, sharing wisdom. Trent, oh, it very much does. I'm not trying to discount that, even just for having the logic tools. My minor is math, but yeah, in the rare times I do need to use higher level math, I inevitably look it up. You know, all that said, I did do some remedial math by choice while I was at City College, and I had this really awesome professor that basically, like, she had us, all we did was take notes the whole semester. And I don't know why it worked so well, but like something about that, like, whole kinesthetic learning effect where you've written the equations down over a semester really worked, and it helped. And she taught us like we were dumb, but not in a condescending way, if that makes any sense. And it worked. And now I've got 3 semesters of notebooks where basically I wrote my copy of the math books myself. It was cool. Like Jiraiya does research law. Because 50 Shades was just so awful, I needed to get that crap out of my head by writing something not crap. Oh, writing fun stuff. I wouldn't know. I'm a prude. Y'all a little too spicy for me. Okay. Little by little, we're carving out some detail on these lads. Man, these are going to look so awesome. Definitely, looking at the clock, I doubt we're going to get them done tonight, but we're going to get them really close. I still want to do, once we get through this step, I still have to do the vermilion, and then I'd like to do 1 layer of edge highlighting. They are just little guys. Happy little lads. It's funny, like, I never really know whether to call, to personify chassis as male or female. But like, in my mind, Urbanmechs, these are very clearly little lads. Just a little guy. But like something big like a Daishi, now that is a gal. That is a slay queen. Much in the same way a ship is. But Irby, yeah, he's just a guy. He's just a basic little guy. And I loves him, and I hates him at the same time. That said, I do kind of really want to print out an UMK9 now. Grim, do you have any less known mechs that are your favorites? Boy. Falconer. Really good. Really wacky looking. I like the Jackrabbit. I think that one's maybe pretty well known. AC2, SRM2, fast. It's a harassment mech. I've got a... Where's it at? Damn, how many mechs deep is it? It's the very last one in the row. I've got a Perseus up here, which just looks wild. I guess you can't really tell because it's in package. Perseus is like a Omni-Mech reimagining of the Orion. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. Battletech definitely suffers from the whole like gotta catch 'em all problem. Let's see what's on my rack right now. I've got some catapults for the upcoming, eventually upcoming, I should say, 5 generations of the catapult. I've got the Kerensky Orion. I want to do a Pimp My Ride Kerensky edition. Comes with the 28 millimeter. I don't know if you probably can't see it. 28 millimeter scale Kerensky. I've picked up a unseen Jenner 2C. And then we're gonna do a new sequence, a new deep fried model for the start of the videos, but it's gonna be this blue package Mad Cat. I'm gonna completely do an episode of opening this thing up and preparing it and painting it and giving it a loving paint job, and then I'm gonna deep fry the bastard on the start of episodes going forward. We got to get that one. The intro segment needs to come down by like 10 seconds. Trent says regarding whether or not chassis are masculine or feminine, kind of the way I see it is how mass-produced are they. More mass-produced, simpler machines, more masculine, where more specialized, one-of-a-kind machines are more feminine. Yeah, I get that. Nathan says the Wyvern is pretty feminine. It does indeed have a feminine look. It's one of my brother's favorite chassis. I picked one of the old Iron Wind Metals ones up for him. I don't think he's painted it yet, though. When you're making the larger Urbanmech, I think it would be cool to make a K9 with working lights. That would be super cool. We might revisit the Urbanmech and do a K9 eventually. It could be like a good anniversary celebration of that video or something. Gotta catch them all. Man, next year I'm committing to getting a 3D printer set up just so I can print them all. Yeah. Yeah, I think if you don't have one already, I recommend, if you're going entry level at least, the Frozen Sonic Mini Original. You can pick it up for about $159, and it's really good. It does quality prints. It handles down to 0.02 millimeter layer height, though I usually print in 0.05. And it works really well. Big recommend. Kind of cheap. Trent says it'll rustle some jimmies. Yeah, that's the intention for sure. Oh, who's messaging me? Who the heck is text messaging me? Oh, cool. Cool. That was a guy. So I was up in San Rafael playing some Infinity the other day, and ran into this guy I played Warhammer with like 15 years ago, and exchanged numbers with him, and he hit me up just now. Might have to get him for some games. Grim says it makes it more perfect. I think any mech that mounts an arrow is pretty rad, honestly. I don't know how I feel about mech mounted artillery, honestly. I think it's interesting to be moving around with that stuff. I generally field my artillery in the form of platoons. Another Nate on the topic of 3D printing says, I like my Creality Howlet. Worked out of the box just fine. Price wasn't ridiculous either. Seismic says, I got an Anycubic Photon to learn how to 3D print. Moved afterwards, have not gotten around to it yet. I have a pair of Photons. They print fine and dandy. The big issue that I have with them over the Frozen is the mounting schema to the build plate. So apologies if that siren's coming through my mic too much. The Photon build plate mounts via a ball joint that's held down by a tensioner screw. So it's really easy to kind of lose your perfect leveling on it. Whereas the Frozen has 4 screws that lock it in place, and that seems to be more reliable. That once it's locked in. Nathan says, have any of your prints popped from uncured resin trapped inside? I have not experienced that, but I'm cognizant of the issue. And if the model is too big, if the model's big enough that I need to print it hollow, I'll drill a hole and drain them out real good. Spencer Good, welcome. Spencer gives a biscuit. Howdy, good sir. I will send a biscuit right back. You're getting sausage, my guy. Oops, I hid the chat. How do I hide this? How do I hide that? Go away. There we go. Another Nate, not for me, Nathan, but I did print a Boba Fett, and he did leak a bit. Oh, in regards to the hollow stuff. Nathan, Arrow 4 is good in a big game like Alpha Strike on a huge map, but Classic is inherently a smaller game. If you go too big, it starts to bog down with tedium. Oh no, sorry to hear your Boba Fett jumped off the table and lost all his limbs. That resin's fragile and is Always hard to see them explode when they hit the ground. Nathan, you're not wrong when it comes to big games. I do enjoy a big classic battletech game. It's just like the crunch is awesome. Though it does indeed, like, the games just get exponentially longer the more BV you add. I would love to do like a 24K size one, but that would require a specific set of people, a specific type of people who are willing to like come in and spend the entire day gaming. And we'd need a space that was like free to break down, like take a break for lunch and leave everything set up still. I'm doing my first big in-person game this weekend, hopefully 13.3K. Yeah, that's huge. I bet you stray into like the 6-7 hour territory with that. Oh, well, I'm thinking about it. Another Nate. Speaking of breaking models, I did manage to glue back together my Aaliyah 3. If y'all saw the Armored Core build video, I did indeed throw that model on the ground as part of that intro segment. I thought it'd be funny and would rustle some jimmies. So, yeah, I know firsthand how models literally explode if they hit the ground. Them 3D prints. So for that, I hope you're able to repair your Boba Fett. Another Nate, just a calibration test print, trying to figure out why I was getting Z stretch. Oh yeah. Problems with 3D printers is like problems with cars. It's like it could be any one of like 100 different problems. Uh, 50 yen. Look at that handsome lad. Yeah, it came out all right. That model was a nightmare to build. Actually, very spindly, fiddly, fragile. Not a fun model, but it sure is pretty, and the pre-supported pieces work really well. That artist did a great job. If y'all would like to take that on as a project yourself, the description of the Armored Core video has a link to that artist's page. I think there's 2 different versions available. They have some other stuff too, but the Aaliyah 3 looked really cool. AP reduces 0, return to base. Yes. Speaking of AC, I beat AC New Game Plus late last week. Very satisfied with the game. I have been playing very slowly. I actually upgraded my computer to play it. I put a 3060 Ti in my machine. Upgraded from a 1050 GTX. I can't remember. 1050 to a 3060 though. I've been playing it very slowly, taking my time, because I don't have time. But it has been good. Frustratingly difficult at times, but excuse me, it feels like old Armored Core, and I really like that. It's very reminiscent of the builds and the movement. I mean, admittedly, it's a little faster, but it is very reminiscent of Armored Core 1, and I still, to this day, say that is the best Armored Core. 6 is a very close second. It's very, very good. It's better than all the other ones, I think. Yeah, Armored Core 1. If y'all ain't played Armored Core 1, play it. It is good. It just, like, accept the jank, accept the shit graphics, and dive in. It is well worth it. I played back through it after there's a British guy who plays video games on YouTube with the videos are called "Was It Any Good?" I think it's Josh Strife, I think is his name. He did a "Was It Any Good?" Armored Core 1, and I watched that video and then immediately went back and did a playthrough, and man, it still holds up. It's good stuff. So big recommend. I also make another recommend in that Armored Core video if you ain't seen it. That was a fun project. Josh Strife Hayes, yes, thank you, Trent. Indeed, Josh Strife Hayes. Josh Strife plays Was It Any Good? Armored Core. Actually, if you don't have the time or the ability to play Armored Core 1, check out his video on it. He does a full breakdown, and it was a good episode. 50 yen. So while I printed a Black Knight for my friend's birthday and another painted up for him, I felt some kinship to the Hunchback vid. Anyways, the last test print ended up killing my printer. Man, I hate to hear that, dude. I hope you're able to solve that and get back on it, because 3D printing opens up a whole new world of model painting, model converting. It's kind of a necessary tool for a hobbyist anymore, I think. And with the price on entry-level printers being so low, they're well worth having. Seismic, still do not understand why coral is bad. Trent says, the coral was sentient beings. You genocided them and a ton of humans in the system. Okay. It does spooky stuff when integrated in the human brain nervous system. But otherwise it's not bad. It's just different type of being. Interesting. I haven't gotten super far into the game, so I'm interested in seeing it. I got a little sidetracked actually and tried to do multiplayer, and man, that's something else. Everybody doing that same meta build. Big shotguns, twin big shotguns, twin big missiles on the shoulders, tank legs. They just win. I'm guessing maybe some late game equipment would help with that. But I'll get there eventually. Me and a buddy of mine are still playing through Baldur's Gate 3. Oh, no. Trent Hallmark says, I should have specified spoilers. Sorry. I hope it's at least incorporates gibbers. Normally, I care about spoilers. Armored Core 6, no. You're all good there, brother. Not any problem at all. In fact, I invite you to discuss it. Speaking of, we do have a section on the Discord for folks to talk about Armored Core 6 and share their builds and whatnot. So if you're not already over there, check out the description for an invite link to the server. We'd love to see your mechs and your thoughts on it. Whatever you're working on in the hobby corner. Hell, if you just want to drop in and say howdy and show us a picture of your cat, I'd love to have you there. Fear of repetitive meta is why I don't play the multiplayer. Quad plasmas. Awesome. Seismic says twin shotguns is meta. Damn, I was running it without noting. Yeah, it's the Zimmermans are kind of broken. But a buddy of mine was saying that he was really enjoying it for certain missions in single player. I do really like that outside of playing multiplayer and going for trying to beat some try-hard meta guys, just about every build is valid. I've been running... I'm still fairly early game, but I've been running I've got the fast, the light, reverse joint legs. I'm running the plasma rifle and the the pneumatic spike melee weapon, and I've got the vertical plasma missiles, and then the slow missile, the slow homing missile. And I find that the combination of the vertical missiles and the slow ones is really good for catching people off guard and getting them to dodge poorly, or they dodge one type of missile and get hit with the other one, and then they get hit with the plasma rifle for buku damage. Okay, getting a little bit more down here. Pile bunker, best bunker. Don't worry about Nightbot, Trent. Nightbot issues warnings, but only issues warnings. I left it in because I thought it was funny. So use caps all you want, good sir. Seismic, I just like stunning my enemy and smacking him with the pile driver. Yeah, it's so good. It does so much damage. Spencer, good. There's a whole genre of games like that, Gundam Versus, for instance. Yeah. I don't know if I've seen Gundam Versus. But speaking of Gundam, I was just about to announce that I put up a Gunpla channel on the Discord, but I forgot to do it. The folks over on the Discord voted whether or not Gunpla needed its own channel, and they do indeed think so. So we're going to add a Gunpla one. I'll try to get around to it before I go to bed tonight, but there's some there are some Gunpla and Gundam enthusiasts in that group. My buddy Zetz and Millennium Model Mayhem occasionally pops in. Twin Shotgun strong because the game super heavily encourages aggressive play, and multiplayer makes your game plan very predictable. So if you know you get shut down hard, yeah, okay. Dual wield melee weapons, that'd be nuts. Grim says, so the new Armored Core is worth a pickup. Normally, I would say no on a $60 game. On this one, if you like Armored Core, yes, it is worth picking up. It is worth the price of admission. It is annoyingly difficult at times. I think they went overboard with the difficulty as a feature. But yeah, definitely worth it. Gundam Versus is on one of those cabinets that I bought. I have Gundam Extreme Versus 2 art kit. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Something satisfying about a good cabinet game. Gundamu, I think I'm about to rotate this laptop over here. Let me just take a moment and say that this amount of appreciation and participation in the chat is well appreciated. It is y'all here that make me happy while I'm painting. So thank y'all for being here. It is an honor to get to chat with you fine folks. Trent says, I might sneak a Zoid or two into the Gunpla channel. Fits better in there. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I would love to see some Zoid work. Grim at Grim. You like fast-paced gameplay? Yeah, it is definitely fast-paced. It does ironically feel like the first game in some of the movement, but it is fast for sure. Sick experience for mech fans, and it's very fast. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Some of the nastier bosses got tuned down just a bit ago. Baltius missiles don't track as hard now. I lucked out, I think. I actually beat Baltius on the first go, but I had the advantage of having watched one of my homies take him on like 25 times in a row. So I really had an idea of what to do. And then another one of my friends is, I don't know if he beat it yet or not, but he was hard stuck on it. How about a channel for bitching about facial hair? There are just times I feel the need to shout my frustration with the mustache that keeps trying to climb up my nose. Another Nate, you are not alone. I would happily join you in a channel for bitching about facial hair. Two things. My mustache hairs are wild and like to climb all over the place. And I am quite irritated with my genetics in that I cannot grow a beard. I'm sitting on like, I don't know, 6 or 7 days, 8 days of growth right now. It's patchy. Spencer, good. I love the Zoids kits. I've been meaning to pick one up for quite some time. I haven't done any Zoid kits at all myself. I did a one. What's the scale? The like mid-size scale for Gunpla is at 1/100. I did the 1/100 heavy arms to use as a knight for Warhammer. Worked really well for that. Really fun. Fun kits, lots of little parts and very clever connections. Cool. Help, I just ordered the HG area rebuild and MG Exia. More plastic crack. Yeah. Spencer says it's tough to stay presentable with a thick beard. Yeah, that's fair. I'm assuming it takes just as much like grooming care as long hair does. Like you need some products and some good soap for it. But I tell you, I definitely got the beard envy. I do save money on razors though. Should I say more? Never really gotten it down, to be honest. Yeah, that's probably fair. I go through a lot of conditioner, mostly for hair care. I just doubled down and bought a. When I re-upped, I bought 2 each of some kind of coconut oil shampoo and conditioner. It smells awesome. Makes my hair nice and shiny too. Gotta keep that luster for the videos, you know. Been meaning to try it out, but I need to rein in my ADHD doing the kits that I have. Oh, Gunpla and Warhammer. I heard there's a tabletop game for Gunpla. Yeah, well, you know, you can play Gamma Wolves, and that works really well. And in fact, if you don't know about him, which I hope all of y'all here do, check out friend of the channel, Millennial Model Mayhem. Incredible work. Hand-painted Gunpla kits set up for Gamma Wolves. Big recommend. Really solid content. Make sure to give him some scrutiny and maybe a like and a subscription if you like the content over there. I absolutely burn rubber off my heels to rush over there whenever something new drops over there. Good stuff. Liam also does some streams about this time. Whenever he streams, it's usually about this time of day. So, no love lost for me. If you catch a MMM stream and head over there instead of over to the hobby corner here, big recommend. Don't use soap either, says Nate. One Mayhem, he's here yesterday. He's got cool painted gunplay. I can't type fast enough. That's fair. Yeah, really, really down to earth. Fucking cool dude. Paints really awesome stuff. A much better painter than I definitely need to pick his brain about some glazing techniques and their gunplay. It's wild. Been meaning to do one myself, although it's not really gunplay. I got a weird kit from Sabungle. I don't know how you pronounce it. But it looks fun. One of the channel members recommended it one night during a stream, and I picked one up. So I might do a video on it. Of course, everything is just video fodder anymore. It's all an ever-growing pile of shame. I swear, every time I finish a project, by the time I finished it, I've picked up 2 more. Or anytime I go down to the FLGS, I'm like, oh, this will make a good video. And then I buy it and it goes in the closet, never to return. Like, let's see. For instance, I picked up a copy of Battle Masters off of eBay. Been meaning to do that. Green Army Man. Okay, I'm gonna go sniff some thinner and lay down. Hey, thanks for stopping by, homie. Fantastic to have your thoughts here in the stream. Keep your eye out for more nonsense coming out of the bullshit corner, and enjoy your paint thinner and a good lie down. Pile of shame is a cosmic horror. It never stops growing in all of us. Yeah, it's I'd say 2/3, if not 3/4 of my closet is just games. Like, I've got most of the Dark Souls board game, which I had planned on painting up for a video or 2 or 7, and that project just kind of languished. I've got a mint copy of the original Hero Quest that I've been meaning to paint for content. I went on a tear and picked up, let's see, can I read them from here? I see Kill Team Into the Dark, Kill Team Octarius, Kill Team Chalnath, and Soul Shackle, and Curse City, all on that shelf over there. They're all in shrink wrap. I bought them all and I haven't touched a single one of them. It's like, realistically, they're well-intentioned purchases, and I think they'd make for some cool content, but the amount of work that goes into producing a video is kind of insane, at least at the level of editing that I'm doing. More or less, once the model is done, whatever I'm painting and however many hours goes into that, completely disregarding that amount of time, we're looking at about an hour per minute on a video. So, like, Hunchback, I think reasonable to say it was 37 hours of editing. Work on the pile of shame and turn it into content for the machine. Smart. Just be sure to pace yourself so the hobby doesn't turn to poison. Well, I hate to inform you, 50 yen, but I hate painting. And that's not even a joke. I actually I actually despise the process. I love the end results, and that's why I'm so adamant about the whole like be happy while you're painting, because happiness is a choice. It's a frame of mind. It's a decision in the moment on how to react to your present situation. So never forget that. I think, you know, sometimes if you're having a bad day or having a really shitty task like painting some Urbanmechs, if you just remember to enjoy the process and to smile and be happy, you can be happy in that moment. Spencer says it sounds cool. Yeah, I think it does indeed sound cool. I'll get some fun content out at some point. They'll eventually come out. Trent, at some point I'll get to retire and then I'll have time sometime, right? Well, no. I'm afraid the answer is no. There's never enough time. Especially once you retire, because then, like, by retirement age, time is going so fast that you don't have time to enjoy the time. Plus, by then, hopefully your models are all painted up and you can spend more time rolling dice in your retirement age. Found a cool 80mm Stalker resin figure for 15 bucks, and I'm kind of 15 bucks kind of looking at it. No shit. I think that'd be really fun. I picked up a few Stalker models that I was intending to paint, but I kickstarted the Stalker board game. So I think I'm going to wait on any kind of Stalker content until that point. Whenever that arrives, we'll do a full paint up. It'll be fun. I'll do like a speed painting technique episode. Oh man, if you could print some bigger stuff, I'd be happy to pay you for it. Oh, I tell you what, yeah, feel free to send me the STL files and I'll kick them down your way. If you want to just cover postage, I got you, brother. Especially if they're, if you find any nice pre-supported stuff, I can kick them down. Okay. We are making such slow progress tonight. But I do want to, let y'all know I'm having a blast. Resin that cheap? Yeah, it's pretty cheap. I pay $24 for 1,000 milliliters. And that goes for a long while. Most recent printouts, I did some 75mm sculpts from Limbo Division 209 that are... I might have posted them in the Not the Kids table section on the Discord. They're definitely not safe for YouTube. I guess technically they are, but they're a little lewd. A little bit lewd. I don't think they're appropriate for the channel, at least. Alright, that's 2 Urbanmechs completely done with the Xandri dust. I shall look around for some cool stuff. Bedtime for now. Later, man. Good stream. Thank you so much for stopping by, Spencer. Also, I see your channel member. Thank you so much for that as well. Yeah, I'll hit you up about the prints sometime real soon. It's not safe for YouTube. How to catch my attention. Speaking of all this pile of shame conversation, I spent an unhealthy amount of money on the Mercs Kickstarter. I almost did. I almost did it. I couldn't bring myself to do it because I'm still waiting on Tag Raid from Corvus Belli. I kicked the Here's a Might and Magic board game. I went all in on that. I kicked the Stalker board game and the Apex Legends board game. I cannot justify giving another $600 to it. Handsome trash cans, nice and dusty and crusty. Such thing as spending too much. It's so worth it. No, I felt like the Mercs, the amount of stuff you got for like the reasonable prices was not worth it. Personally, I thought it was kind of a bad price, and it seems like the type of thing where whenever those products are in circulation and you can get them on through online retailers, you'll probably be able to get them for a better price than they were offering. The real good deal, of course, was limited to retailers, which would have been cool. Would have been damn cool. Merc's Kickstarter, yeah, 50 yen. The BattleTech Mercenaries Kickstarter with the new box set. They're introducing vehicles to the regular Catalyst game, which is really cool. And a whole bunch of like lance options. Definitely some fun chassis that I'd like to get my hands on. I really want that Hoplite. I'd like the Scorpion, but I just couldn't justify it right now. Yeah. Trent says it's a bad price until you get to the 250 plus mark, which was a shame. Also took this opportunity to just get all the books. Yeah, BattleTech books can be kind of pricey. Definitely like keep an eye out if you're looking for books for the game, or even like novels and stuff. I recommend watching for like ding and dent sales on places like Ares Games and Minis or Fortress Games, or wherever your preferred place is. They very nearly got that $250 deal out of me, but I restrained myself and I spent that money on good food instead over the course of much time. That and Baldur's Gate 3 and Armored Core 6 and all kinds of fun stuff. Oh yeah, I bought a new graphics card too. That was like what, 300 and I think I paid 350, 360 for it. Worth it though. It's actually made video editing like 10 times as fast on my machine. At least like the exporting process. So well worth. Better than 40k books where they ship out of date. BattleTech hasn't been massively changed since before I was born. Yeah, it's fantastic. I think that's one of the strengths of the setting. I remember being a kid and looking at my dad's technical readout 3050, and there was a section in the back that was like introducing rules that were kind of new at the time, like LBX autocannons and battle armor, and there was a line in there that's been burned into my brain since I was 5 years old, that a mech only needs a functioning shoulder actuator to make a punch attack, which still holds true. I guess what I'm getting at is the rules are unchanged for the most part. I mean, there's some subtle differences, but it's not like 40k where you like they fundamentally alter the game every 3 years. Trent says, yeah, Kickstarters aren't good deals a lot anymore. more for people like me that just want to throw money at things. I have been very disappointed with the Kickstarter model as of lately. It's a lot of companies are taking advantage of the fear of missing out and making fat profit off that and charging, way more than they would in a retail setting. And it's really disappointing to see. And I distinctly got that impression from the Catalyst games. I feel like Catalyst games prices have been really good up until this Kickstarter. They're charging too much for what they're offering, and they know that people will pay it, and that people are very excited about it and clamoring for it. Wasn't it one of the highest grossing Kickstarters? It's a distinctly icky move that I noticed, because I have heaped praise upon Catalyst for their pricing model for battletech so far. It has been cheap to get into it. I fear with its popularity, we're just going to see prices slowly increase as they release more stuff. Though, sure, they can't ride like the fat popularity wave forever. I think hopefully it doesn't go the way of GW. But all that said, it's still a game that's been around forever, and you can still buy Iron Wind Metals models, for instance. Kind of goes against what Kickstarter was started for. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. And it's kind of hard to see. And I have a little bit of resentment there, because Kickstarter is like, it's hit a point where it's a regular means of production for companies. Less like, it's not so much products being funded by a Kickstarter program as much as just regular sales that they'd be doing anyways, presented in a FOMO fashion. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. At least for me, I see it as when buying for Kickstarter is kind of, I'm paying extra because I want to support a bit extra. I think that is still out there. And holding hope they aren't going to do price hiking once they're actually out there. Yeah. There's definitely some of that out there that still seems genuine. The Stalker board game, for instance, was like a really good deal. It seemed to me like the type of thing where they were trying to get funding. Conversely, you got people like Corvus Belli who did Defiance, and they charged like $450 for the full game, and then produced a bunch of models out of it that were like, they're usable in Infinity. They're named characters, but you can only get them in that Kickstarter, and you can only get them if you kickstart it. So you end up getting the FOMO, but then they re-release it on the store for limited time only, so they double dip and cash in on that FOMO. FOMO's icky. It really is icky, and unfortunately it's very effective. Heck, it's not just Kickstarter. Games Workshop got me. Like I said, I got four boxes of Kill Team sitting over there. Yeah. 50 Yen says it's an interest check that turns a profit for bigger companies. I miss when Kickstarter was mostly individuals and small groups. Yeah. It's... Uh-oh. OBS, did I drop? I did drop. Am I back? Am I back? I think I'm back. I got a notification that it dropped. Holy moly. Woo! Alright. You got a notification? Yeah. I went completely red there for a second. It looks like the program completely reset, actually. It says dropped frame 0. Oh, man. We're also sitting at the... we're almost 3 hours in, and I have not finished putting the Xandri dust on these boys. That said, I'm not complaining. Y'all have been an absolute joy to chat with tonight. We've had some fun conversations about art and Kickstarter and Gunpla. This is maybe the most fun I've had in a stream. Cube is done. Fantastic. Oh, I can't wait to see some pictures. Unfortunately, I don't have a system on this OBS here on my little computer to do a showcase another Nate, but I swears at some point in the future we're gonna steal a page out of Peganeko's book and do a Discord show off, show your models at the end of the streams. You know, maybe I'll iron it down to do a 2-hour stream and then 2.5 hours, and then spend 30 minutes letting people show their stuff while we're working. Howdy, Tyler. I'm glad I am back. It dropped for just a second there, I think. We're making abysmally slow progress due to all the fun that's being had here and the great distractions that y'all are providing. Not a complaint. That is not a complaint. Tyler says, what's the status on your Patreon? Is it ready to join? We do have a Patreon. It is up. I believe people should be able to join it. There's not a lot of posts on there yet. I've been advised to announce it sooner, but I think I'm going to stick to my guns. And we're going to do a big announcement on it when we hit 1,000 subs. If folks genuinely want to support in a very direct fashion, we do have a Patreon, and I will offer some exclusive stuff over there. There's a few posts from Infinity the game. I'll be preparing some stuff for now to put on and get some exclusive videos. We'll maybe do some candid stuff. We'll do some vlogs and or Q&As, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with my guns. We'll do a big announcement and release the Patreon and do a 1,000 sub special stream once we hit there. We're making progress. We're sitting at 831 subs now. We gained 50 since the Hunchback video come out. So yeah, I'm really happy to see that number go up. Very close to getting to the point of enabling ads on the videos, which I know that's not something people want to hear, but you know, it's a goal in content creation. Hot tip: Adblocker Plus, good stuff. Don't have to watch no ads. We'll do ad-free videos for members. We'll do ad-free videos on the Patreon, but I think for the foreseeable future, once we have that unlocked, I'm going down the ad route because, you know, it's income. It makes us realistic. And honestly, as shitty as it is, if you step into one of my videos and you sit through a 30-second ad, you directly pay me a few cents for your time. I'm not sure what the click rate is, but yeah, we're definitely aiming for it. I hope to do this full time and continue to make fun content. Folks seem to enjoy it. I enjoy making it. And as the community grows, we'll get some more like targeted content, take polls on what people want to see. And we'll definitely keep the battletech coming. Because there are so many chassis to paint. And the fun thing is there's so many factions within Battletech too. We can paint the same damn chassis in 5 different styles. Seismic says, meh, I watch so much YouTube I spring for premium. Well, see, that brings up a really awesome topic too, in that if you are a premium user, and once I've hit the threshold for AdSense, your view as a premium user is worth a similar price to viewing an ad. So, like, you know, I don't mean to impose on y'all, but like, hey, it's viewers like you that keep this channel going and keep that enthusiasm alive and make this fun to do. And hopefully, you know, keep the paint stocked here in the corner. 50 Yen says a Marauder 2 for every occasion. I actually have a Marauder 2 out on the desk over there. I'm thinking of doing this lance that's it is a guillotine, a Lancelot, a Exterminator, and a Marauder 2. Nice 8K BV at 4.5. I think that it's 3.4 at 10K. My only issue with ads in YouTube Premium is the fact that YouTube creates the problem and sells the solution. Yes, you're not wrong there, Trent. I definitely, even as I'm toying and expressing my intention to include ads, I'm definitely advocating for Ad Blocker Plus. It works well. I never watch any ads on YouTube, which is kind of hypocritical for me to be asking for ad revenue but never actually watching any ads. Say you're a Patreon kind of guy. Well, you know, if you find yourself in the future with a little extra funds to spare, we have a Patreon. It's not super active. I'm gonna populate it over the next couple months. As we approach 1,000, we'll do a celebration. We'll get that Patreon, you know, try to make it worth tossing some buckaroonies there. Plus, you know, I'll definitely do the your name in the credits type situation. 50 Yen says the paint must flow. You know, it flows well. You know, you thin it out just right. Another Nate says, yeah, I went premium about a year ago when I discovered Real Terrain Hobbies. And went to binge everything Neil ever made. Yes. Oh, his work is so cool. It's wild. Like, Neil's work over there shows that you don't have to be super realistic with what you're doing to create a very believable and realistic immersive table. I'd love to catch some new Real Terrain Hobbies stuff. I know he's been you know, dealing with life. Saw something recently. Didn't he do like a 3D generated bit for one of his tables? Trent says ads are more of a mobile thing where the majority of ad views are going to come from. I would never remotely not indicate that CC shouldn't turn it on for support. Just YouTube as a company's grimy. Yeah, they definitely are. Bought his Forge the day it launched. Oh, sick. I thought about picking that up for my brother. But I didn't. He's got his own money. After all, I am a full-time student, and that is all I do other than YouTube. I can't just, you know, I can't just afford to, you know, gift a whole bunch of memberships to people in the channel when they're watching No, I can't afford that at all. No pressure to keep that current on any of y'all who picked that up. But for as little as $1 a month, you can show your support for the channel and get a fun little badge next to your name, as well as access to biscuit-based emojis here in the chat. Furthermore, if you want to pick up some Country Fried Minis apparel over at Threadless, just shoot me a message here on YouTube. I guess the best way would be through email or on the Discord. Shoot me a message. Let me know that you want to pick up the discounted stuff, and you're more than welcome to it. We'll give you can pick up stuff on the Threadless at manufacturer cost. So yeah. Plus, we'll get some fun members only videos, but I don't want to do too many of those, honestly. I'd like to keep the content out and available for everybody. Membership is more of just, you know, showing your support for the channel, as well as well, getting to use biscuits. Another Nate says, was watching Josh Foreman's last stream. He had to cut early because he's going to help Neil with casting his waves for a resin pour. Ooh, excited to see where that goes. I agree. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Oh, damn, 50 yen. Thanks, dog. Yeah, Jelly Biscuits. You have access to some fun biscuit-based emojis here. You know, it definitely helps out. I know that YouTube really pushes for the membership stuff, but I am intent to make the membership is the cheapest way to support the channel. We're going to keep that Jelly Biscuits tier at $1 a month. I am never going to raise that, and I go as bold as to say never. Because the more substantial tiers will be on the Patreon. But if you want to support the channel without breaking the bank, $1 a month will do it. And I don't even think it's recurring, you know, even just a one-time deal will do it. Anyhow, not to push that super hard, but I am stepping into the future here and trying to turn this into something real. It's been incredible to see the growth over the last few months. Big Urbanmech really kicked this little tiny channel into something that I never thought it'd be. And yeah, we're going to keep rolling, keep making some fun content, get some battletech stuff out, get some Infinity stuff out. I've even got some wild stuff like these super obscure Dungeon Crawl Classics models. So I'd like to do some fun stuff like this. Membership could be early viewing for videos. I think one of the things we're going to do with membership will be the what do you call it, ad-free videos. I think that's a big incentive. Of course, the biggest incentive is you get to play with these fun biscuits. Let's see, what do we got here? We got there's a chicken biscuit, there's a sausage biscuit, there's a sausage egg biscuit, and bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits. How do I hide that now? How do I hide the emoji panel? Jeez. Another Nate says, was watching Josh Foreman's last stream, and he had to cut early because he was going to help Neil with casting his waves for resin pour. Did I already read that? I might have already read that. Does that mean we have another hobby video coming soon? I'll tell you, I'll drop what I'm doing to watch some real terrain hobbies. There are a few channels that really get me going like that. And Neil's work, it's really good stuff. Even from like a video art type angle, it's really fantastic stuff. Where are we sitting at? Where are we sitting at now? A little over 3 hours in. We're just about done with this Xandri dust. With all the distractions, with all the conversations. We're about 4 mechs deep with the Xandri dust. Where do we go from here? You can hide the emoji panel clicking the black keyboard icon. Thank you very much. That is a good tip. I am definitely a bumbling idiot from time to time when it comes to technology. As I say, I'm as old as the dirt itself. Not that old. Yet. Let's see, what is today? Today is Thursday the 14th. Oh, yeah. I'll be 36 years old tomorrow. So I'm not that old. Just old enough to have an aching back and remember the good old days. It's actually kind of wild. So I've been in college for 11 semesters now. And one thing I found at the city college level is there was a whole lot of older students, like people going back to college, kind of like my age range and older, and even like old folks going back to college. Now I'm finding that I'm at university, finishing up a bachelor's degree, and everybody is really young. And it's, I feel so out of touch with some of the students there. Evidently, people just go right out of high school into university these days. I always thought that there was, good Lord, 50 yen. That is a fat donation, dude. Happy early birthday. Extra biscuits and gravy are on me. Dude, that is super generous and well appreciated, my guy. I'm floored by the gesture. Thank you so much. I will indeed make some biscuits and gravy. That's wow. Thanks, dude. Amazing. I don't even know where I was talking about. I was talking about Cuba Waste admiration of the hobby corner. Damn, Nate, I feel like I'm dropping the ball here, not being able to show your hobby corner progress. So folks, if you're not on the Discord, if you're joining up on the Discord, check out our lovely community members' work over on the hobby corner. Yeah, that's super fun. And this is 2 different types of putty you're working with, polymer clay and oh damn, what's the stuff called? Milliput? It looks really fun. And that shape will be really good for highlights and whatnot. Oh, man. So close to done with the Xandri dust. It's mind-blowing sometimes how long these steps can take. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Again, want to toss out there that if you'd like your own commission like this, the prices on my Fiverr gig will remain low through the end of the year. We're going to keep them low for people to take advantage, and then in the new year we're going to raise the prices because, you know, the number of hours it goes into is really high. But if you want your own set like this, for instance, the Urbanmech lance or a catalyst box, I offer a tier of catalyst boxes. Any one catalyst box for $100. That includes the price for me to source the catalyst box for you. You don't have to order it yourself and worry about mailing it to me. And that's painted up in the color scheme of your choice and shipped to your door for $100. Furthermore, there's an option in all of my gigs to drop in for $75. You can ensure that your mechs become a video on the channel. Of course, I do reserve the right to make a video if I'd like to, if it's something that stands out. Like, I don't know, when you pick up an Urbanmech lance, and I think it will make for some good content. But yeah, if you want a custom commission, check out the gig over on Fiverr. I'm generally able to handle whatever you want. You'll get a nice rough and ready tabletop quality set sent your way. You don't have to worry about the painting at all. It's been pretty successful, I gotta say. I'm quite chuffed with the amount of commissions I've actually picked up through it. Cuba waits admiration. Tavik was as darn kids in university. Cheap Sculpey and cos. Oh yes, okay. You mentioned that before. The cosplay I'm familiar with from watching Dan Does. His work is really, really cool. Really good guy too. Super kind gentleman. Trent Hallmark, the thing stopping me currently is a large purchase I've already committed to. Is the fact that the hammerhead isn't in stock anymore. I'll tell you what, Trent, I'll keep an eye out. I will keep an eye out for a hammerhead. And if I see one, I'll pick it up and put it in my collection. Just in case, good sir. So, if you ever find yourself ready to jump on that hammerhead, just shoot me a message on Fiverr. Do you have a reliable source for 3D printing? Why, yes, I do. I have, I wonder how many files. I have a good selection. I have most of the sculpts by Matt Mason. I have, I secured all the Polygon Masterworks mechs before they closed the Patreon. I could potentially get you a Locust Labs print. Yeah, I have a pretty sizable collection of STLs because I do a lot of printing for myself anyways. And I generally print at a passable layer height. Depending on the mech, it'll be 0.05 or 0.02 millimeter. Like, I don't have 4 or 8K quality printing, but it's good enough and passable enough that you really wouldn't notice. Plus, you know, they're competitively priced, so you know, just full transparency, you know what you're signing up for. Plus, you know, it's always, since starting Country Fried Minis, the work that comes out of the corner here has gone a long way in switching my mindset from trying to do the best of the best of the best to good enough is good enough. I want the content here to be approachable for experienced painters and novice painters alike, and really help to remind people that good enough is good enough. That said, I don't mean that I'm cutting corners to the point of sloppy work, but, you know, a reminder that display models are display quality, and tabletop models are tabletop quality. Then again, I really just believe that for game pieces, if you can view it at arm's length distance and it reads clearly, like you can see all the colors of the individual places, you can see some highlights at 4 feet away, you can see like a nice dark line in between all the panels, maybe some transfers, and good enough is good enough. Kind of a hallmark of the channel these days. Plus, like, when it comes to a commission, who can afford to pay for a 100-hour model? I mean, really. Perfect is the enemy of good, and good enough is perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself. I recall in one of the Horus Heresy books, Fulgrim was doing some kind of sculpture, and he couldn't understand what was wrong with it. And he asked one of his subordinates what's wrong with it. And the problem with Fulgrim's sculpture was it was too perfect. It was machine accurate. It had lost the soul of the artist. It had lost the painterly touch, those imperfections that make the art show the hand of the artist. And that whole thing just really stuck with me. And kind of, it's been liberating to paint models to, you know, admittedly a varying level of quality. Like I did a whole bunch of highlight layers on the Edna model. Definitely more than I do on the battletech stuff. My Infinity models, I spend up to 8 hours on a single model. These are battletech. There's no need to spend 8 hours on a mech, I don't think. Perfect enemy, good enough is perfect. Hey, if those urban notes are the level of quality you provide, I would not say they're good enough, but awesome. Yeah, they're I guess, let's see, the last commission I did on here was the 3 mechs. It was a Kodiak, a Mad Cat 2, and something else. I can't remember what the third one was. The models in painting for commission. I have that painting for commission video. That was a full commission piece. But the underside of my Space Marines need a perfect light. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're meant to be viewed from all angles. Why ain't it perfect? All right. Well, we're 3.5 hours just about in, but I think I want to put this dark vermilion on before we do any kind of calling it for the night. Because I do want to get this commission out this weekend for the community. Oh my God, we got people in the Discord. Hold on, folks. I gotta say howdy. We're gonna wave, and we're gonna say, say some kind of greeting to these fine folks here in the Discord. Welcome, y'all. If y'all have any fun stuff going on, if you have any models you're working on, we'd all love to see it. You got video game stuff going on, please feel free to post it. Whatever you want to talk about, all is welcome. There we go. Let's do this, and we'll do this, and we'll pop those in, and wow, I'll give a fat howdy to these fine folks. Community is always growing. We have some fun discussions over there. What was I doing? Where am I, Cameron? They need to be seen from all angles. Look at Catgirl's mini wearing skirts. Well, luckily those Catgirl minis did not have any detail modeled up their skirts. But for that matter, there are some sculpts that I have from Limbo Division 209 that are a little too lewd for YouTube. I would dare say they're smut. If they didn't want to see this part of the Marines up close, they shouldn't have modeled it. That is, I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, so we're going to show the dark vermilion back to the camera. We're going to put some dark vermilion on the wet palette. We're going to make sure to get some on our fingers. We're going to put 1 drop of fluid retarder in it. And we're going to put 1 drop of water in it. Mix it on up. Oh boy, howdy, I am excited. Definitely more energized as compared to yesterday. I was completely dead. I'm currently making chainmail for the October sessions of my D&D. That is insane. I cannot imagine the amount of work that you have in front of you for that. I, in theory, know how it's done, but it just seems like... Honestly, chainmail links seems like it could be really meditative, actually. Like the type of work that you just pour yourself into and forget that the day is there. Honestly, a task like that is really cool sometimes. Alright, so we got this dark vermilion, and I've made it a little thinner. I hope I got that in the frame. I do. Got it a little thinner than the Xandri dust. It blends a little better than GW colors. And we're going to kind of hit it on the upper facing portions of these panels, and we're going to like blend it down with some quick strokes. Basically, we're going to go for mostly full coverage, but favor it on sharp edges. Leave a little bit of that darker color showing through. Man, I really love this color now after playing with it. I never heard of it, but my client for this project had some example photos of mechs they had painted themselves, and I wanted to match the colors exactly, so I picked up the color they used, and it is, well, I mean, increasing your paint collection is always a good decision, but I'm really digging this. It's not pink, it's not orange, it's like a little bit of both. It is 70.947 dark vermilion by Vallejo Model Color. Making a costume. Trent says, I'd love to see these guys to the end, but I just failed my sleep roll best of something that's hidden behind the heart. We'll catch you again soon. Dude, thank you for stopping by. I'm probably not going to be able to finish these tonight anyways, but I'm going to post a finished picture to the Discord, and we will be making a full-length piece of content and getting these out. Grim says, I'm happy you ended up liking the red. Yeah, it's a really worthwhile addition to the collection. I'm going to have to use it myself. I think what we're aiming for tonight, and admittedly, I'm a little further behind than I'd like to be on this project right now. I blame yesterday. I was very tired. I actually ended up sleeping 10 hours before class today. I think the plan as it stands is to get at least this vermilion put on. We might pick back up the metallic colors since we've washed it. They're going to get a little edge highlighting. They're going to get some weathering. They're going to get the base treatments. And then they're going to be wrapped up and pictures sent off for client approval tomorrow night. And then if we don't need any revisions, they'll go out Saturday morning in the post. And well, hopefully, fingers crossed, priority shipping should get them there in time for the intended plan. Hopefully. I think they're one more short painting session from done. Yeah, they're really close. I underestimated how much time it would take to pick back up the Xandri dust. In hindsight, I think the approach I would have taken if I wasn't matching the color scheme here is perhaps to paint them in the Xandri dust and then use an oil wash or an enamel panel liner to get the lines done a little cleaner. Or I guess I could have mixed the ink with some flow improver and decrease the surface tension. And that way I wouldn't have to do so much work bringing back up the color. But I don't regret none of it. This has been a really fun stream. Y'all have been an absolute hoot to chat with tonight about anything and everything. And honestly, that's why it's called a hobby hangout. I'm hobbying. You're hanging out. But yeah, all joking aside, it's utterly humbling to see folks interested in what's going on here in the corner. And I am sublimely grateful for y'all's presence. That's no joke. No lip service, none of that. That's heartfelt, y'all. Makes this a lot of fun. But, you know, all that said, they're getting there. They're progressing. Getting these boys ready. And again, like, the layers don't have to be perfect. We're just selling the idea of the highlights. I've mentioned it quite a bit when it comes to mini painting. You know, at this scale, you got to force the highlights. The natural lighting isn't going to do the work like it would at full scale, but it also doesn't have to be perfect. You can. It's kind of like movie magic. If you get enough paint on there in the right spots to really sell the idea, You don't have to do them in super intense, detailed perfection. Sounded like my computer just shut off. It did not. I think where that comes up the most is painting flames. I actually had a commenter on the Hunchback video talking about like the realistic flames, the way the cannon burst would be brighter towards the center and darker towards the edge, and it's painted exactly the opposite way. Well, there's reason behind painting it that way, because I'm not painting for realism. I'm painting to create the subconscious effect. It needs to read to your eye that it is a flame gradient rather than being a realistic flame, which actually wouldn't, ironically, wouldn't look realistic to the average viewer. Plus, it'd be very hard to render without transparency. All right, we got vermilion on that leg. A little more there and here. Build it up a little more there. Let's get that arm. Got like a little bit here and there. Yeah. I hope I got that in frame for you. We can say the round is self-propelled. I think that's not too far off from the sculpt. I actually ended up, the best cannon blast I could find, excuse me, was a bolter muzzle flash effect for Space Marine, and I just blew it up huge and printed it out. What is it? I think it's 28 mil to 148 is a 6x size increase, if I remember correctly. So I blew it up about as big as it goes on my resin printer, put some new supports on it, and hollowed it out and printed it out. Worked perfectly. It's a real nice touch. Still not 100% sure what I'm going to do with the Hunchback, actually. It's kind of taking up shelf space. I was thinking of putting it on eBay, or maybe trying to organize a giveaway. Send it to a new home. As much as I'd love to keep all my creations, even if just for cameos in videos. I live in a studio apartment, so a gigantic Hunchback on a 1 foot hex base, you know, takes up space. Takes up a considerable amount of space. I don't know, I'll feel it out. I'll ask on the Discord here sometime in the future. See if anybody be interested in taking it off my hands. Probably go to the best offer. Might do an auction on eBay as well. As seen on Country Fried Minis, gigantic Hunchback. What did I say at the beginning? I want to talk to y'all about this big ass Hunchback. Yeah, it'd be fun. Charity fundraisers are a really good idea. Charity fundraiser is a great idea. I don't know who I'd give to. Could always shoot a email out to some folks and get some ideas. That would be cool. I think eBay even does a feature where you can just tick a take a box and do it as a fundraiser. I don't know. Excellent thoughts, y'all. I definitely like the idea of doing it in the spirit of giving more so than the spirit of profit. It reminds me, we had a really fun project in my lithography class where we had to do a piece called The Gift. We had to design a lithograph as a gift, and I ended up doing a vet Kazakh from Infinity, the game. Did a nice fun print of that and did a series of 20 of them and handed them out at a local tournament. Felt really good to give stuff away. All right, progress. Get this here hunchy all red. I think we're about to do that same dealio with the rank painting techniques here. What was it called? Assembly line painting? Yeah. Do these kneecaps first. Kneecaps first. Not too worried about super clean detail here, because we want that grime wash to show through, and then there will also be not only a mild edge highlight coming later, but I'm going to be doing some weathering with sponge chipping, and then we'll also be doing the basing gets like some mud, the mud highlight color pushed up onto the feet a bit. Ooh, I see a spot that demands some Agrex Earthshade, actually. Missed a little bit right there. I grab just the tiniest bit of it. I try to jam it up in that corner right there. There we go. All right. Still looking pretty good. It's a fun paint color. Fun paint scheme, I mean. I like the single leg, single arm, asymmetrical situation. Kind of reminds me of what's that Space Marine chapter with the quartered, the red and yellow quartered scheme? Howling Griffins, I think. The RTH Forge is uploaded. What's that? RTH. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Damn, that looks cool. Yeah, that's a fun kit. I know that your forge here is the star of the show, and it is damn cool. But I see that Hello Kitty bird box in the background, and I like that a lot. I don't know if y'all know, but I am a fan of princess gear. I do like things pretty and pink. That's why my my Hakislam forces are pink and blue. I don't think I have any handy though. Well, I say pink and blue, but they're turquoise and magenta. Almost have that like vaporwave aesthetic. Not quite, but almost. Okay. Armored panels. Armored panels. Armored king. Oh, I should have done a repair panel hidden somewhere. Just one little cheeky off-color panel. Maybe in like a steel gray. That would have looked good. But then again, this is for a client's established color schema. I don't want to take too many liberties here. After all, the subtext of the Urbanmech Lance episode is going to be about matching someone else's color scheme. All right. What are we looking at? 3 hours, 45 minutes. Damn, we've been at this for a hot minute tonight. I think I might be hitting the wall, y'all, for a session. I wish these were more done than they are. But I think I just hit that moment where my thoughts are slowing and my paint hand is not as steady as it was. And I think we might be walking away from this project this evening. At least on the stream. I think I need to stand up. I need to stretch my legs. I need to have a light snack before it gets too late. Boost my blood sugar. Have something to drink. I think I'll probably do a little more work off these off stream. And we're going to be painting tomorrow as well. Whether or not I stream it remains to be seen. Probably not. Honestly. I think there's going to be a fair amount of waiting on things to dry. Let's see. Realistically, where are we at? I will finish the vermilion before bed. And then, here, let's try to get it there. We're going to highlight up the cockpits. We're going to do some edge highlighting. I need to pull back up the metal, maybe. Maybe not. That dark metal kind of looks close to what it looked like in the picture. And then I need to do the basing. And the basing is this sterling mud. And that is definitely going to take some time to dry. So once the mud dries, then I hit it with the Scrag Brown. So it looks like I am buckling down for painting again tomorrow to get these out on time. I am shocked at how long this brushwork has been taking, but they're very looking very, very nice at the moment. I definitely want to take a moment to thank y'all for joining me tonight. I regret that I'm walking away in the middle of this project right now, but the health of my butt comes first, and I need to stretch it. Y'all have been an utter blast to hang out with this evening. I've had a ton of fun on this stream. I look forward to catching some of y'all again in the future. And I want y'all, as always, to remember to be happy while you're painting. And also to know that your viewership and participation in these moments is what makes me happy. So, I've been Cameron on behalf of Country Fried Minis here in the Bullshit Corner 2.0. Getting a little painting done tonight. I think we're going to sign it off for... I just clicked something that I didn't mean to click. How's that? Testing mic. All right, y'all. 50 yen says in your final four, you'll be able to read and respond to chat while painting at full speed. Yeah, you had a decent amount of distractions today. Good stream, Nightman. Y'all have been awesome. I might stream tomorrow's progress. I might not. I might hang out in Discord with some homies. Actually, tomorrow's my birthday. Tomorrow's my 36th birthday. And I'm going to spend it painting these fabulous models and hanging out and chilling. I'll post these in the Discord when they're done. And, you know, y'all just have to see the final product in a video. I'm not going to stream this tomorrow. But this has been fun. So, you know, keep an eye out for more models. We'll be, anytime I'm working on a project for a video, I'll stream the painting. Anytime I'm working on a commission, I'll stream the painting. The painting streams have been really successful, and we'll do more of them. So, without further ado, thank y'all for joining me today. Lots of love, and y'all have a fantastic night. I'm going to click this here shutting down transition button. See y'all later.